Q&A time on the CU podcast. This is at Brandon Velasquez. I haven't heard of Brandon in a while, have we?
No. But I know we've heard of him before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Would an NES Disk System have sold well had it come out, I guess, in North America?
I'm of two minds with this. I think it could have been pretty popular had it come out. Discs, I don't know how the pricing worked in Japan, but discs should be cheaper than cartridges.
Oh, yeah, by at least half, less way. Yeah.
So it definitely could have been an interesting way to get the price of games down. The ability to use the kiosks to put new games on the discs, that was always fairly interesting. And I have a feeling would have been used. Well, I think there's two reasons why it may not have come out here, though, regardless of the fact that it could have done well. One, discs were the domain of computers, and computers were still scary to a lot of people back then, whereas video game systems weren't quite so much.
Well, remember, we're always technologically behind Japan, like 5 to 10 years.
Sure.
I mean, that even continues today with cell phone tech. I hear like their cell phones are like miles ahead of ours. They choke the technology in the U.S., you know?
So
this came out, real quick, this came out in Japan in February 86.
The other reason I think they might not have brought it over here is besides the computer association that discs have, I think it was probably pretty easy to look at rampant piracy over here among people who did play computer stuff.
Oh, there's piracy there, though. But
and wonder if it would be worthwhile. So I think it could have worked here, but I think that some preconceived notions of the day kind of held it back.
Well, let's just do it this way. So this came out 2.5 years after the Famicom did. So let's just say 2.5 years later after the U.S. release would have been the end of 87. We'll just say like, say 2.5. Yeah, like end of 87, early 88. That could have been a prime time because 88 is when the NES really blew up. We'll just say tail end 87, 88. By that point in time, computers were still really fucking expensive. Yeah. Computers didn't come down in price till the early 90s. Even significantly till like the mid 90s. So, like to your point, people have to be familiar with what the hell's a floppy disk because most people didn't know what a floppy disk was still in 88. Definitely not 86. My dad bought XT in 85, and that was probably back then like $1,400 in 85.
Yeah. So
think about that. That's like $3,000 you're paying for a computer. That now, like, this is more powerful. This probably has more computing power than XT or the Yoga here.
It's possible.
So, to your point, if they had marketed it correctly, saying, "Hey, you can get similar games for instead of paying $45, you're only paying $20," that could have convinced a lot of people to pick it up.
Right.
I mean, hell, they put the expansion slot on the NES, so they could have done it. They probably maybe considered it at least.
Right.
But like to your point, though, maybe they saw how it went in Japan and saying all the piracy happening because the NES came out with the expansion port before this came out, before the Disk System came out in Japan. So they probably figured, oh shit, we're selling, but this might be hurting us because now people are just rampantly copying games.
Right.
When last time I went to Digital Press in New Jersey, there was a whole, they had a whole portion just for Famicom disc games. And I'd say the vast minority were real games versus copies, versus pirated copies. I think. Not to say that's bad they were selling them. They're cool, they're kitschy, they're old carts, old discs from back then. And no one cares, they're cheap. Yeah, I just think it would have been nice, obviously, because the games would have had better music tracks.
Right.
Zelda better. Things of that nature.
Saves instead of passwords.
Oh my god. For like every game.
Because games like Zelda got the battery in the transition, but Metroid didn't. Kid Icarus didn't.
That's right. Good point. And that's why we got the saves because the Famicom Disk System helped with that.
Yep.
We didn't get the cute little Diskin guy, little yeller guy. We could have got.
Oh yes, Discoon.
Could have got him. So I wonder. Being that they did the standalone or add-on disc system, then they also did the twin Famicom, which combined both, which is a cool system. I wonder if that's the route they would have went here. Maybe that would have been easier for them a few years in versus having people, have the attachment. Because when you think to that point in time, in terms of, there were add-ons to consoles like ColecoVision had add-ons, but they were simple.
Yeah.
Plugged them in, put an Atari card in. You know what I mean? There was less to screw up, I think, than all the machinery of a disc and the bands go and things like that. It's a little more complicated.
The bands are always an issue.
So, okay. So what was the original question? Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Would an NES Disk System have sold well if it come out? Yeah, if it was priced right.
Yeah, I think
if it was like, what do you think it would have cost back then? $60, $70 back in $88, and then if the disc cost $20 each, I think it would have done well.
Yeah.
Before people realized how they could pirate them with computers. Like my dad used to bring home pirated games from work like it was Christmas. Thanks, Dad, for games. That means you don't have to buy me another G.I. Joe. Okay. Moving on.